My name is Tebi Anyam Paul. A lot have been said about elementary education in Cameroon. From my experience as an educationist, I've heard a lot of misleading concepts about education and how structured it is in Cameroon. But today, come with me as I navigate you into the real deal. That is to say, how structured is elementary education in Cameroon. Welcome back. Today, I'll tell you all there is to know on how structured or organized is elementary education in Cameroon. Please, before we kickstart, consider subscribing by hitting that icon, which not only gives me strength, but also permits us to do subsequent interesting videos. First of all, it is imperative to precise that Cameroon, being a bilingual country, tracing its source after the First World War, whereby the emerging international referee known as the League of Nations placed Cameroon under the tutorship of the British and the French in 1919 and 1960 as mandated territories. Both countries mentioned above are at the origin of the two subsystems operational in Cameroon till date, that is, the Anglo-Saxon and Francophone subsystems. The Anglo-Saxon system is fashioned after the British and the Francophone system is fashioned after the French. Elementary education in Cameroon's setting is divided into public and private schools, supervised by the Ministry of Basic Education under Law No. 98/004 of 14 April 1998. This law applies to both systems. Public schools are directly supervised and controlled by state authorities, while private schools are controlled by private individuals but supervised by the state. Private schools are subvented by the state, given that they are auxiliaries to the state authorities, unto whom it has an obligation to educate its citizens. Subventions are equally allocated to public schools to a greater extent by the state for its smooth running. Public schools tuition is affordable than private schools. Private schools are further divided into lay private schools and confessional schools. Lay private schools are secular in culture and nature, while confessional schools are those schools that have paid allegiance, that do pay allegiance to a peculiar religious culture, such as Catholic schools and Islamic schools. Prior to elementary school, we have the nursery and preschool, commonly known in Cameroon as the pre-nursery. Nursery school runs for a period of 24 months, that is 2 years duration, from age 4. The objective at this stage is for the child to awaken his or her physical, social, emotional, and intellectual potentials. It is a propelling ground for entry into primary. It should be noted that no diploma is issued at this stage, except for report cards and end-of-year course attestations issued by some schools as an indicator for admission into primary. The official entry or admission age into primary is 6 years. The primary is subdivided into 3 levels. Level 1 made up of primary 1 and 2, level 2 made up of primary 3 and 4, level 3 being the last level is made up of primary 5 and 6. Some exceptions are applicable, whereby some learners are promoted to the next class via the school's approval based on laid down criteria. After 6 years of studies in the primary, the pupil obtains his or her first school leaving certificate, which grants them entry into the secondary or vocational training. It should be noted the following points. Anglo-Saxon speaking pupils obtain what is known as first school leaving certificate, while the Francophone speaking pupils obtain what is known as the CAP, Certificat d'aptitude primaire. Prior to their first school leaving certificate, they have to go in for regional mock exams. This is a pre-test to their capacities and eventually common entrance and concours, the French acronym, which is official. Common entrance or concours gives them access to public secondary schools provided their grades are good. The ministry in charge of basic education in Cameroon is sustained by the state budget and financings from external collaborators. Pedagogic supervisions are done at different levels, such as the Ministry of Basic Education, Regional Delegation of Basic Education, Secretariat of Education, Inspectorate of Basic Education, and finally we have the Zonal Coordination Team. In subsequent videos, we will look at elementary system of education in Cameroon. How is it? Hope you know systems are different from structures. Hope you did enjoy watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you. Well, you now know how structured is elementary education in Cameroon. That is, we have the public schools, the lay private schools, and confessional schools. And moreover, you now understand better how and those involved. That's the Ministry of Basic Education, the Regional Delegation of Basic Education, the Inspectorate of Basic Education, and the Zonal Coordinative Groups. Thanks.